happened in Clapham Wood with the bodies? Clapham, located in southern England, has gained a reputation as one of the most haunted places in Sussex. In this quiet English village where, theoretically, nothing extraordinary should occur. But the reality is different. In the late 60s, the region began to gain fame for numerous UFO sightings and numerous reports of unusual and mysterious occurrences. And the mysteries are not limited to the sky. Many visitors report feeling dizzy and other strange symptoms when entering Clapham Forest, a place where people have disappeared and been found lifeless. A forest where the community's dogs disappear without a trace. What is happening in Clapham and what is hidden in its forest? The main UFO sightings in the region date from the 1960s onwards. On a night in 1961, a traveler was walking one of the trails of Clapham Forest when he suddenly noticed that the full moon was illuminating the area with a burnt smell. The unusual sight was interpreted by him as if the moon were descending. But obviously it wasn't. It was a flying object of unknown origin. In the summer of 1967, Paul Clover was walking up the slopes towards the forest on a clear starry night around 10 o'clock at night. He and a colleague noticed that a dark boomerang-shaped object was moving quickly towards them, blotting out the stars as it did so. They said it couldn't have been a cloud because it kept its shape and seemed to be on a set course. A few minutes later, they saw two bright lights in the sky. They said that one of these lights released a smaller object that traveled towards the second light and seemed to enter it. An hour later, they saw two yellow lights descending into the forest, followed shortly after by another two. Also in October 1972, it was said that a telecommunications engineer saw a UFO hovering over the forest before veering off at the same time as a couple walking in the area saw a light in the sky sending a bright beam into the forest before flying off. Numerous similar reports were collected by authorities over many years. Another curiosity of the forest is the strange disappearance of animal life in the early 70s. David Bennett liked to record birds in the area, but to his sadness, he found that they could no longer be heard. The forest had become eerily silent. Men working in the area reported that wildlife also seemed to have abandoned the forest. Hikers passing through there fell ill with headaches or stomach cramps. Several people reported being pushed by an invisible force and feeling dizzy. On one occasion, two men fell ill at the same time. One doubled over in pain and the other grabbed his head screaming, feeling as if they were tearing his eardrums out. The two men staggered for 50 meters before these horrible sensations stopped. Clapham also saw a series of murders that remained unsolved for quite some time. The first was in June 1972 when a policeman named Peter Goldsmith disappeared. While walking around the region, Mr. Goldsmith, a former Royal Navy commander in excellent physical shape and hiking enthusiast, mysteriously disappeared. It could not be imagined that he would be easy prey for anyone. His body was found 6 months later, hidden in an area of bushes. The second death was that of a retiree, Mr. Leon Foster, who disappeared during a hike in the summer of 1975. 3 weeks later, a couple looking for a lost horse found him. The coroner said that his decomposition had accelerated due to unknown factors. The third death is even more mysterious. Reverend Harry Neil Snelling disappeared on Halloween 1978 when he returned from a dental appointment and decided to return home through the forest. An exhaustive search was carried out in the area, but his body was not located. It was found 3 years later at the bottom of the forest, in August 1981, by a Canadian tourist. The fourth death in Clapham Wood was that of Gillian Matthews, in 1981. A homeless woman with schizophrenia. In none of the cases did the coroners reach a unanimous verdict on the cause of death. And there is no explanation of how the Reverend's body could have appeared after 3 years. Between the years of 1972 and 1984, the phenomenon in the forest steadily increased, including the death of animals. During this period, It is said that no fewer than 100 animals, from dogs to horses, fell victim to the forest, sick, seriously injured with strange marks, or simply found dead inside. Or they simply disappeared without a trace. Many of the strange happenings remain unexplained, and the mysteries of Clapham are alive to this day. Meanwhile, the mystery of Clapham remains alive to this day. Visitors report that the interiors of the forest are disconcerting. Besides being strangely silent, there is still a notable uncomfortable absence of bird songs. Some claim that the forest is home to supernatural beings that still inhabit Clapham today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this video with those who like supernatural stories.